Okay, so today I'm going to present the OOP concepts that we covered during the two last classes. We're gonna see encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. Actually, I decided to put them in this order because I put them, this one is the easiest for me, and then abstraction is the hardest for me. Actually, I'm a little bit struggling with polymorphism and abstraction. That's why I wanted to leave them up for the end. And then I just wanted to start with encapsulation and inheritance. Same order for me. Okay, good. Okay, so let's start. So for the encapsulation, so what we have to know for encapsulation is that encapsulation is data hiding. It means that when we declare variables in a class, actually we don't want to be able to access those variables from the outside of this class. So basically, this is data hiding. So let's just create okay, so let's create a package. Let's call it encapsulation. Encapsulation. Okay, so to actually the best example that I found to present encapsulation is the example concerning employees. So let's just create a class. We're gonna name it employee. And then let's create another class named test employee. Okay. So what we're gonna do is in employee class, we are going to declare variables. Okay, so let's say we have string name. Give me just 1 second. Okay, it's better this way. String name. We have int ID. We can have string department, and we can have int salary. Okay, so for now, these variables are, they are public. It means we can access those variables from the outside of this class. Let's say we create an object for employee class. So let's say employee equals new employee. Okay, and then when we use this object employee dot, you see that from this class and using this object we can access these variables. But actually we don't want that. We want to, let's say, hide these variables. So in order to do that, what we need to do is just make them private. Okay, so let's just make all of them private. Okay, so now all our variables are private. So when we go here and we do employee dot, you see we don't see the variables anymore. You see, because they are private, so we cannot access those variables from another class. But actually, how can we access those variables? We can use setters and getters methods. So let's just generate setters and getters. So we go to source, generate getters and setters. So click on that and then select the variables. And then after they're gonna just, the system is gonna put them after salary and then okay. So you see we have the setters and getters methods for all the variables. So this one is for, so it's the get name and then set name, get ID, set ID, get department and set department, and then get salary and set salary. So now we just need to go here and then just call the set method in order just to give a value to the variable, and then we call the get method in order to get this value and then to print it out to the console. So let's do this. So we're gonna start by calling the set name. Where is it? Okay, set name, and then we're just gonna give a name. Let's say I'm gonna just use my name. So we set the name. Now we need to get the name. So we're gonna call the get method. So employee dot get name. Now we need get name. Okay, so now we see here that the get name method doesn't print anything, so we just need to print something here. So let's say we're gonna do sys out, and then we need to print the name like this. Okay, so let's just save it and run it to see if it works. Okay, so it prints Kahina, the employee name. We're gonna do the same thing for the other variables. So let's call again. So employee dot. Now we're gonna set the ID. Let's just do it 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna get the ID. So employee dot get ID, and then we need to print it out to the console. I'm just gonna copy this. Oh, I cut it instead of copying it. Okay, that's fine. Sys out, and then employee name. Okay, now it's good. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. Control C, and then okay. Okay, let's just save and run. Okay, it prints 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do the same thing for the next one. So employee dot, now we're gonna set the department, let's say IT, and then we're gonna get the department. So employee dot get department, and then we need to print it out to the console. So like this. Okay, so we should print IT, yes. And now for the last one, employee dot, so set salary, let's do, okay, and then get salary, employee dot get salary, and then we're just gonna print it out. Let's run it. Okay, so we have all the information that we set here. So this is for encapsulation. So just to summarize, encapsulation is a process of data hiding. It means if we have variables, we declared variables in our class, and we don't want to allow access to those variables from the outside of this class, so we just make them private. And then we need getters and setters method in order to access those variables. So this is what we did here. We just created an object for employee class, and then we just called this the setters and getters method in order to access those variables. Okay, so this is for encapsulation. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, so go ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna go to thank you. Thank you for the comment. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to the next concept, which is inheritance. Okay, so let's say that the inheritance is, let's say it's the process to, I will say, acquire class properties. Okay, it means that when one class inherits another class, it means that it's gonna inherit the properties of this class. It means that it's gonna have access to the methods and the variables of this class. So actually the best example that the best example that I found to present inheritance is just using, it's not really creative, but I'm just gonna use parents, grandparents, and children. Okay, so let's just create another package, and I'm gonna call it inheritance. Okay. And then I'm I'm gonna create 3 classes. So one is children. A second one is gonna be, let's say, parents. And then a third one, let's say, grandparents. Oh, I should not have space here. Okay. And then I'm just gonna create another class just to run the program. I'm just gonna call it test. Let's say test inheritance. Okay, so what I want to do here is define some methods in each one of these 3 classes, and then I want children class to inherit the properties of parents class and parents and grandparents class. So first of all, I'm just gonna start by defining the methods. So what I want to do here is that children are going to have their own properties, but they also want to inherit some properties for the parents and grandparents. So let's just start by creating a method for children. Let's say public void, let's say hair. Okay. And then this out. I'll just say dark hair. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay, so this is for children class. Now I'm just gonna create a method for parents class. Okay, so let's say public void eyes. And then this out. I'm gonna say blue eyes. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the same thing for grandparents class. Okay, so public void, what can I do for grandparents? Let's say strength. Okay. And then we're gonna print something out. Let's say strong and healthy. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, so I have 3 classes. So I have children, parents, and grandparents. So I have one method in each one. Now, what I want to do is I want children to inherit the properties of both parents class and grandparents class. So for inheritance, the keyword that we use is extends, but actually one class cannot extend more than one class at a time. So that's why, I mean, we cannot do children extends parents and grandparents. So this is multiple inheritance, and this is not allowed in Java. So what we can do is, is just use it's just make parents extends grandparents, and then children extends parents. So this way, children is going to have properties of both classes. So what we are going to do is the multi-level inheritance. So let's do this. So we have class children. So we're gonna do, okay, but first we're gonna start by parents. We're gonna do parents extends grandparents, and then children extends parents. Okay, so we see that parents extends grandparents, so parents inherited all the properties of grandparents, and then children extends parents. It means children inherited the properties of parents, and since parents has the properties of grandparents, so children inherited also the properties of grandparents. So this is what we call multi-level inheritance. So now we're just gonna go here, and then we're gonna create an object of children class. Children, let's say child equals new children. Okay, now we're gonna use the object child, and then you see we have access to all the methods. We have access to eyes, we have access to hair. Actually, hair is in children class, so using the child object of children class, so we can access hair method. We can access eyes method, which is in parents class, and we can access strength method, which is in grandparents class. So let's just call these methods. So let's start by hair, and then the same thing, child dot. Let's call the eyes method, and then child dot. Let's call the strength method. Okay, let's save it, run it. Okay, so you see it prints dark hair, blue eyes, and then strong and healthy. So even though we don't have, so in this class we have only one method, which is hair, but actually with creating an object of this class, we could access these two methods. This is this is the purpose of inheritance. Okay, so what did we do so far? So we created 3 classes, and then we created one method in each one, And then we wanted children class to inherit the properties of parents class and grandparents class. But actually, one class can extend only one class at a time. So that's why we cannot do children extend parents and grandparents. It's impossible to do that. So this is multiple inheritance. This is not allowed in Java. So that's why what we need to do in this case is parents extend to grandparents, and then children extends parents. So this way we create, with using the object of children class, we can access all the methods from children, of course, and then also the methods from parents and from grandparents. Okay, so this is for inheritance. Let me just see if there are no questions. Okay. Now, okay, yes. Ahmed, do you want to say something? Can you? Grandparents, yes. So do you have a question, Ahmed? Okay, so you don't have extend grandparent. No, actually, yeah, actually, I don't need the grandparents to extend something, because I don't need the grandparents to inherit properties. I mean, grandparents are not going to inherit properties from parents or from children. It's the opposite. Children and parents are going to inherit properties from the grandparents. So that's why I did. You see here? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the logic. So that's why we didn't need to extend, something to use extends here. Grandparents don't need to inherit. Actually, children and parents need to inherit from grandparents. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the next concept. Is it always the case that the inheritance goes from the top to the bottom? Actually, it's not really from the top to the bottom. Um, Actually, it depends on your classes. So in here, I just, it looks like, where is it? So here it looks like, yeah, it looks like from the top to the bottom, because I used grandparents and then parents and then children. But actually it depends on your classes. You can use something different. Let's say, I don't know how you define. Yeah, actually, I think it depends on current class. I think children is the current or main class you working on, so the order does not mean anything. Yeah, actually, this is, I mean, I use the children, parents, and grandparents this because this is like a concrete example that we can, I mean, we can understand, but we can change the order as if we want. I mean, in the real life, we cannot make grandparents inherit something from parents or from children. But in Java, actually, we can do that. We could do grandparents extend parents, and then and parents extends children, but it has no sense. So I just wanted to find something that makes sense in order to explain it. But you can use any classes you want, any subject, and then you can use the inheritance the way you want it. I mean, it depends on your program. It depends on the program that you need to build. Okay. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go to the next concept, which is polymorphism. So as I said, actually, I'm a little bit struggling with these two. So I hope I can present an example with it without making a lot of mistakes. It's a little bit confusing. So I will try to do my best. So let's create another uh, package, and then I'm gonna call it polymorphism. So polymorphism. Okay. Actually, for this concept, I wanted to find a very simple example in order to present that. And actually, I can say that I could understand it with one example, which is a cake recipe. So I know it looks maybe a little bit stupid, but it's a very simple example, and I hope it's gonna be clear for you. So let's just create some classes. So I'm gonna create a class. I'm gonna name it just cake. And then I'm gonna create another class, and I will name it make cake. Actually, in this class, I'm gonna run my program. Okay, so actually, so why did I choose this example? So here I wanted to give the idea of making a cake using a recipe. Let's say we have 3 people or more. I mean, let's say we have 3 people. These 3 people are going to make a cake, and then so for that they are going to use a recipe. So let's say that recipe in Java is going to be the method. So all these people are going to use the same method, which is recipe. But actually, they are going, for their recipes, they are going to use different ingredients. So the ingredients in Java are going to be the arguments that we are going to pass in our methods. So let's just declare some variables here. Let's say string ingredient 1, and then string ingredient 2. Oh, sorry. And string ingredient 3. Okay. So we have 3 variables, which are ingredient 1, ingredient 2, and ingredient 3. Now we are going to define our methods. Let's say that we have one person which is going to use one recipe. So the recipe is the method. So let's just create a method named recipe. So public. I'm gonna make it a return type. So let's make string and then recipe. And then I'm going to pass one string argument here, which is string ingredient 1. Oh, I didn't spell it right. Ingredient 1. Okay, now I'm just going to print something. Let's say this out. Let's just print ingredient 1. Okay, and it's return type, so we need to return something. So return ingredient 1. Okay, so this is for the first method. So let's say we have one person who is going to use a recipe to make a cake. And then in this recipe, this person is going to use ingredient 1. Okay. Now, let's say there is another person who is going to use also a recipe. So we're going to make another method named recipe. So public, I'm going to make a return type, string recipe. So you see it's the same name. So we have the first method is named recipe, the second method is named recipe, but actually in this second one we are going to use we are not going to use the same ingredient. We're not going to use only ingredient 1. We are going to use something different. So we're gonna do string ingredient 1 and string ingredient 2. Okay. Oh, we need a comma here. Okay, now I'm just going to print something. This out. let's say ingredient 1 and ingredient 2. And then I just want to have a space between them. Okay, and then we need to return. So let's just copy this. Okay. Actually, I had one issue here. When I do here return ingredient 1, so that's good, it works. Actually, at first, I tried to do return ingredient 1 and return ingredient 2, but it was showing that there is an error. But when I do just return ingredient 1, actually it's working. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't really know why. But let's just do it like this, and maybe I'm gonna ask Mr. Murphy about that. Okay, so this is for the second method. So you see, this is the same method name, which is recipe. But actually, let's say that the signature is different. In this one, we used only ingredient 1, and in this one, we're going to use ingredient 1 and ingredient 2. And let's say that we have a third person who is going to make a cake also. So we're going to do another method. Let's say public string recipe. And then here we are going to use ingredient 1, ingredient 2, and ingredient 3. And then string ingredient 3. Okay. Let's just print something. C, Control V, and then let's do here plus, and then plus ingredient 3, and then return. Okay, so you see we used the same method name, so recipe, 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 but we use different signatures. In this one we have only 1 ingredient, in this one we have 2, and in this one we have 3. Okay, so let's just run the run the program. We're gonna create an object for cake class. Let's do this cake. Let's call it cake equals new cake. Okay. Okay. Now we're gonna use this object to call the methods. So cake dot okay, so we have one string. Let's pass something like eggs, and then cake dot okay, so in here let's pass, let's say eggs and I don't know, let's say sugar. And then the same thing, cake that, where's the other one? Okay. Okay, so let's say and I don't know, let's say butter. Okay. Okay, so you see, we created an object for cake class, and then we used this object to call the methods from this class. But you see, it's the same method name. So let's just save it and then run it. You see, it's printing eggs, and then eggs and sugar, and then eggs, sugar, and butter. So you will see here that it's the same method name, but how does Java know which one of the methods to call? So it's the same method name, so it knows which one to call just by looking to the argument that we passed here. So you see here that we passed only one string argument. So if we go here, which one of these three recipe methods has only one string argument is this one. So Java knows that it has to call this method. The same thing for the second one. So in here we passed two string arguments. So if we go here, which one of these methods has two string arguments? It's this one. So Java knows that it's going to call this method. And then the same thing for the last one. So we have three string arguments. And then in here, the last one has three string arguments. So it's going to call this method. So actually, this is what we call method overloading. So this is one type of polymorphism. So method overloading, it means that we have many methods with the same name but different signatures or different arguments. Excuse me. So actually, this is how Java knows which one of the methods to call. It just looks to the argument that we pass, and then it just compares to the methods in order to find which one of the methods it has to call, even though they have the same name, but they are different through the signature and the arguments that we passed. Okay, so this is what we call method overloading, and this is one type of polymorphism. Now we're gonna see the second type of polymorphism, which is method overriding. So we see that method overloading is methods having the same name, but they are in the same class. For what we have to know here is that the method overloading happens in compile time. And for the method overriding, actually it happens in runtime, and it happens in a subclass which extended a superclass, and then it wants to use a method from the superclass, the same method with the same name, the same arguments, but with different logic. It means that somewhere it's going to print it's going to print out something different. So let's just see an example. Let's create another class. We're gonna name it, let's say, chocolate cake. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's name it chocolate cake. So this class, we want this class to inherit the properties of cake class. So what we need to do is just do chocolate cake extends cake. Okay, now we want to use, in this class, we want to use, let's say, this method. But I mean this method with the same name, the same argument, which is ingredient 1, but we want to use a different logic. It means that we're gonna print out something different. So for that, what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna copy this, put it here. Okay, so you see it's the same method name, which is recipe. It's the same signature, which is string argument 1, but we're gonna use a different logic. So we're gonna do, for example, we need for, and then plus ingredient 1. Okay, so in here we need to print out, we need 4 of the ingredient 1. So you see this is different from this one. In this one we just print out ingredient 1, and then in this one it's the same method, the same argument, but we want a different logic. So let's just create an object of the chocolate cake class. Okay, so chocolate cake. Let's just do ch. Cake equals new. Okay. Now we're gonna use this object to call the method. Control V. That. Okay, so the method is recipe string argument 1, and then we're just gonna put one argument, which is x. Okay, so you see this is this is recipe method. So the method name is recipe, and in here the method name is recipe. Here the argument is a string argument, which is x, and here is also a string argument, which is x. So you see that we have this method in cake class, so recipe with one string argument, which is ingredient 1, and we have the same in chocolate cake class. So recipe method and then string argument, which is ingredient 1. So which one of these two methods Java is going to call. So this one or this one. Actually, it's going to call this one since we created an object of chocolate cake class, and then we have this method in chocolate cake class. So Java is going to call this one, and this is what we call method overriding. It means that this method is going, so this method from chocolate cake class is going to override this method from cake class. So if we run, so let's save it, run it, you see it prints we need 4x. Even though it's the same method name and the same arguments, but it's printing this one, this method from chocolate cake class. So this is what we call method overriding. So this method is overriding this one. Okay, so let's just okay, let me just see the comments. Why is ingredient not enclosed in codes? Josephine, I didn't really understand your question. So which class are you talking about? You're talking about cake class? Josephine, do you hear me? Okay, no response. Okay, let me just try to summarize what we did so far. So I wanted to present polymorphism. So I created one class which is named cake, and then second class just to run my program, which is named make cake. So in the cake class, I just declared 3 variables, which are string ingredient 1, string ingredient 2, and string ingredient 3. Okay, so the logic that I followed in here is that we can have different people making a cake, and then they are going, so all of them are going to use a recipe, so which is the method in Java, but actually they are going to use different ingredients. So one of them is going to use only one. So I know it's impossible, but this is just an example. So one of them is going to use only one ingredient in his recipe. Another one is going to use 2 ingredients in his recipe. And another one is going to use 3 ingredients in his recipe, even though it's the same method name. So they are all using recipe, 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 but they are using different ingredients. So, and then I just created an object for cake class, and then I called the method. So you see, this is the same name method. So usually when we declare methods, we give them different names in order to know which one to call. So we call a method name, but in this case, all the methods have the same name. So how does Java know which one of the methods to call? It's just by looking to the argument that we passed. So when you see here, we passed only one string arguments. So in this class, this method has only one string argument. So Java knows that it's going to call this method. So the same thing for the second one. We passed here two string arguments. So it knows that it's going to call this one, which has two string arguments. And the same thing for the third one. Where is it? Yeah, we passed three string arguments. So it knows that it's going to call this method, which has three string arguments. So when we run the program, it's just printing eggs, and then eggs and sugar, and then eggs, sugar, and butter. So this is what we call method overloading. So why you return only ingredient 1 for both 2 and 3 method? Yeah, actually this is what I was talking about. Actually, when I try to do, so you see when I return only ingredient 1 for both for all the methods, it works. The program the program works. Actually, when I try to do this, return, and then I do, let's say, ingredient 2, you see it shows that there is, so Java doesn't support multiple returns. Okay, so actually I didn't know the answer. I was trying to do that to return many, return ingredient 1, 2, and 3, but it shows that there is an error. We'll learn errors next week. Okay. So actually, I noticed that it was working like this. If I return only one ingredient, it works. So that's why I just leave it like this. But actually, I was going to ask the question to Mr. Maffei. Okay, so this is then concatenate them. Think you need to use total in a string variable. Okay, so this was for method overloading. Now, if we want to talk about method overriding, so for the method overriding happens, I said, in runtime. So actually, we have a subclass which inherits properties of a superclass. So in this case, we created a chocolate cake class, and then we did chocolate cake extends cake. It means that this class is going to inherit the methods and all the properties from cake class. But actually, in this class, we want to use this method with the same name, the same argument, but with a different logic. So that's why we are using the method called named recipe. We are using the same argument, which is string ingredient 1, but actually we changed the logic. So instead of printing out just ingredient 1, we are going to print out something different, which is we need 4 of ingredient 1. So you see, we go here, we created an object for an object of this class, of chocolate cake class, and then we used this object to call the method named recipe with one string argument. So you see, in both classes, we have this method named recipe and using one string argument. So we have it in cake class, and we have it in chocolate cake class. So which one of these two method Java is going to call? Actually, it's going to call this one, the one which is in chocolate cake class. It means that this method is going to override this one. So this is what we call method overriding. Okay, so this is for polymorphism with its two types. I mean method overriding and method overloading. Okay, so I hope it was clear. Now I'm going. Okay, so overloading. Okay, yes, Ahmed, do you have a question? Can you summarize overloading? Okay. So I said that for overloading, it means that in one class, in the same class, we use methods which have the same name. You see, we have 3 methods, but all these methods have the same name, which is recipe, recipe, and recipe. But actually, we have different signatures. It means that we pass different arguments in each one. So in this one, we have 1 string argument. In this one, we have 2 string arguments. And in this one, we have 3 string arguments. Okay, now when we want to call these methods, so we just create an object of cake class, and then we call the methods. You see, so this is cake.recipe, cake.recipe, and cake.recipe. It's the same name for all of them. So how does Java know which one of the methods to call since they have the same name? So you know that usually we don't use the same name for the methods. We give them different names, and then we just call the method name. But in this case, we have the same name. So how do we know which one of the methods to call? Is just by looking to the argument that we passed. You see in here that we passed 1 string argument, and in cake class, this method has only 1 string argument. So we know that this method is going to be called. And then for the second one, we passed 2 string arguments, so 1 and 2 in here. So the only method that has 2 string arguments is this one. So 1 string argument and 2. So we know that we are going to call this one. And the same thing for the third one. So we passed 3 string arguments. So when we go here, which one of these methods has 3 string arguments? Is this one. 1, 2, and 3. So we know that for this one, we are going to call this method. So this is what we call method overloading. It means that in the same class, we have many methods with the same name but different signature. So this is how we know which one of the methods to call, is just by looking to the argument that we passed. So this is what we call method overloading. So it's gonna print all three method. What do you mean by that? All three method? Yeah, when we run our program, yeah. So for the first one, for when we passed a string argument x, so it printed just x because it's supposed to print ingredient 1, and then we passed as ingredient 1 we passed x, so it's just printing x. In the second one is supposed to print ingredient 1 and ingredient 2, and then as ingredient 1 we passed x, and as ingredient 2 we passed sugar. So it's printing eggs and sugar. And the same thing for the third one. Okay, got it. Okay. Can you use total? Can you use total equal ingredient 1, ingredient 2 before system? Then it will be work on ingredient 2. Let's see. So you want me to do this? Total equals ingredient 1 plus ingredient 2. Ingredient 1 plus ingredient 2, and then system out print line. Is this what you wanted me to do, Hossain? String before, oh yeah. String total. Okay, so in here I need to put total. I mean string before total. So, and I just leave it like this. Okay. Oh. Return. Oh, yeah. Actually, it's working. Let's just save it and then run it again. Yeah. Yeah, it's working. Actually, I didn't know that we can do it this way. Thanks. So I could do the same thing. Now you can call ingredient 2. Yeah, actually I didn't know about that. Oh, that's good. I learned something. This is wonderful. What's that? Now you can. Yeah. Actually, I've been struggling with that too. Okay, so it's 8:45. I don't know if I have enough time to do the next one. So actually the next concept is abstraction. So I have only 15 minutes left. So I'm gonna try to do it very quickly. Okay, so we said for encapsulation that it's data hiding. Now for abstraction, let's say that it's implementation hiding. Okay, so for abstraction, we need to use can create class. We need to use abstract class, and we need to use interface. And then what we want to do is that the concrete class is going to inherit the properties of the abstract class and the interface. Actually, we can have one interface, or we can have many interfaces. So it means that a concrete class, so I'm gonna say that a concrete class can inherit only one abstract class at a time. It cannot inherit more than one. So it's gonna be using the keyword extends. So a concrete class can extend only one abstract class, but actually it can inherit one or more, multiple interfaces, and using the implements keyword. So let's just try to do an example. I'm just gonna create a new package. Let's call it abstraction. Okay, let me just close these. Now, I'm gonna create a class. Actually, even for this one, I wanted to find something that makes sense, but actually, I'm not really creative. I'm ashamed to say that, but I'm just going to use a very simple example. So let's just create a class named house. So this is gonna be my concrete class. So I'm just gonna do like this. So concrete. Can do abstraction that you can help me to do. Then for here, where? Okay, so okay, that sounds good. So I will let you do it. Okay, so Hossain, are you going to be the presenter after me? Are you going to do mentoring right now? Oh, okay. Okay, so that's good. So I'm not gonna do abstraction. I will let you do it. Okay, so let's say that this is gonna be all for me today. So thank you, everyone. Let me just I don't know how to. So I think that I need to do change presenter. Thank you, guys. Okay, so change presenter, and then MD Hossain, right? So it's MD Hossain. Are you sure you want to make MD Hossain the presenter? Yes. Okay, so MJ Hossain, I think that you are the presenter now. Okay. Okay, so are you muted or unmuted? Audio. How can I unmute him? The mic. And right click. Okay, so give me just 1 second. The mic. Of his name. MDO. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, you are unmuted now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you already hear me?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, Hossain.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Kahina,
Thanks.
for your wonderful mentoring.
Thank you.
Actually, this is the first time. This is the first time I'm doing the mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit nervous actually.
Don't worry. Actually, it's the second time for me, so I mean, I'm
And yeah,
new. Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
actually, I don't want to take too much time today because yeah, we need to learn a lot of things from Fahim. After that, he will be mentoring us. So I just want to create a simple program on abstraction. Maybe I need help from everyone. So let's make a for abstraction. Actually, we need a couple of things. Um, like the first of all, we need to be make the interface, and then we need abstract class. Then we also need a concrete class, and then we need a main method. Okay. So make a first class is make a project. Make a model of car. Okay. And then I'm going to create a package. Okay. Actually, I'm not changing the. This should be refactor. Yeah. Okay. The concept. Okay. Then I'm gonna make a package. Package will be a model of car. Okay, then I'm gonna create a class. Class will be like a Toyota, for example, like a 15. Okay. Okay, we can create the interface from here too, but I forgot to do it. So we can write down like an interface, or we can make an create another interface, because we can use two interface in a abstraction. So interface, it's like a standard Toyota. Okay, so we can run. Okay, let's create some code public. Quiet, like a Bluetooth. Maybe mistake the spelling, maybe. Yeah, should be W Bluetooth. I made a mistake. Okay, yeah, it Bluetooth. Okay, then maybe another feature. Public void. Maybe it's like print details or anti brakes. Okay, anti brakes. Okay. Okay, these two pieces are interface, like Bluetooth interface. Okay, I'm telling one thing, like all the interface by default is an abstract method. You don't need to be define an interface. It's already by default abstract method. Okay, so this will create like a public void. Have like a HD camera. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's create the abstraction, abstract class. Okay, start. This is gonna be our like a Honda, Toyota, Toyota. It's like a 16. Okay. Okay, I want to know actually from everyone what is the abstract class actually. Anyone can tell me abstract class? Hello, can you tell? Anyone can tell me like what is the abstract class? Okay. Okay. The abstract class is like a, you cannot define any method, we cannot define any method in abstract class, but we can declare. I mean, we can sorry, it's called like a like that. Okay, hold on. Public. Actually, I have the internet problem here, so maybe my sound is not clear. So everybody is hearing me. Okay, good. Okay, this is like a Toyota 16. So in interfaces, we have like a two feature Bluetooth anti-brake, and then another interface we have like a HD camera. So in abstract classes, we also have another feature like a public void, like a is like a front camera or back camera. Okay, right on the back camera. Uh, okay, and let's implement the method. Okay, system chart print chart approach print. Should I mistake here? Yeah, I'm trying to be speak loudly. Anyway, thank you. Okay, I will speak loud. Print island. Okay, we like to like it has back camera. Okay, PRINT. Okay. Okay, so far we have the interface two class, two feature, and another feature, and Toyota 16 we have the back camera feature. Okay, so now we're gonna make a concrete class where we can implement we can extend abstract classes and implement those on implement method on interfaces. You need to have space in interface class on left side under the public method. Uh, okay. Okay, now it's good, right? Heat tab stood off. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now we're gonna make a concrete class. So then we can implement those unimplement method. So let's make a concrete class. So the concrete class is gonna be like a Toyota, like a 17. Okay. And Toyota 17 that will have some feature like a public or it like it's have like uh, how I define actually. For example, it could be have some extra feature like a remote key. Okay, remote key. Okay, the package. Okay. This is gonna be another feature. Okay, so now I have so far 4 classes. So I want to be my concrete classes Exchange, Toyota, and standard Toyota. These two are my interfaces, and this is alpha interface. This is my abstract class. So in 2017, I'm gonna exchange this class Toyota 16. So Toyota 16. Okay. So when I try to extend this, showing like error because it has some unimplemented method that I need to be implement here. Let's see. Okay. Oh, sorry, I need to write down the extents. Yes, right. Okay, it's showing Toyota. Let's see. Maybe a mistake here on 17 Toyota. I think it's still scaling up Toyota 16. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I mistake out there. Yeah. Toyata. Toy. Toyata 16. No. Toyota. Toyota. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm trying to implement. Implement TOY. Okay. See here is they say on add unimplemented method. So that's right. Click here. It's gonna be I need to be write down this method. Okay. Okay. I don't want to check more times because I'm still learning. So let's make like easy. P to B. Okay. Has like an extra page. Okay. Like a super teacher. Okay. And okay, so then you look at the main method. Main method, yeah, okay. Okay, for the main method, we need to get access all the information. We need a get method and set method. Okay. Actually, for get method and set method, we need actually the inheritance. So for this, actually, we don't need. So I'm gonna calling make the object and calling out them. Okay. One question: we can have the multiple interfaces, right? But we cannot have the two classes extend in a concrete classes. So, but we can have two interfaces, two multiple interfaces in a concrete class. So in our main method, okay, just create an object. Okay, okay, my main method is a Toyota. Actually, I mistake the spelling mistake here, so I just write down. However, I write it down. Um, Toyota 17. Okay, that's my class. And can I tell me my car one? Yeah, and then new, and then the same name of the classes. Goyata. Okay, then the bracket. Actually, Toyota. Okay, now need to be the print. Okay, my car and dot. You see all the method coming here. So like anti-brake, yeah, save it. Yeah, it's extra feature. So actually, we can create more. We can call we can call them like all the feature by the 2000 by 2017, because in 2017 inheritedly all the feature he has, like all the interfaces, abstract method, all unimplemented method has in 2017. So whenever I'm calling from by the object in 2017, it bring its get all the access from other method, abstract method or another method. So I have a question to Fahim Bhai. I was asking him like in the morning time. So in heritage, like we use extend method uh, to get access from another classes. So over here, we already use this extend method over here in the concrete classes. So do we need to be in our homework to make another inheritance? Okay, good. Okay, so that's all I'm trying to be sure. Actually, Fahim Bhai, he's gonna be mentoring now. So thank you so much, everyone. I was trying my best. Actually, this is my first time. So hopefully next time I will come up with good preparation. Okay, so Fahim bhai said actually we can end early today if anyone they want to mentoring or Kahina you want to mentoring. I think Kahina already mentioned the encapsulation here. So
Okay, so do you hear me?
yes,
Okay, so thank you very much, Hossain.
you're welcome.
Okay, so I think that I have to change presenter. So Fahim, I have to change presenter and then give it to myself, right?
Uh, I believe I need to be changed maybe because
Yeah, I think that I can do it.
can
Let's
do it.
do this.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, I see you are on a new presenter. Yeah.
Yeah, show my screen. Can you go over encapsulation? Okay, so you want me to go over encapsulation, Ahmed?
Uh,
Oh, let me just unmute.
okay. I mute
Hossein.
myself.
Oh, okay. Okay, so let me just go back to the encapsulation. Okay, so we said that encapsulation is data hiding. It means that when we have a class, we declared some variables in this class. We don't want to allow the access to those variables from another class, from the outside of this class. It means that we want to hide our variables. So to explain that, I just used employee example. So you see in employee class, I declared 4 variables. So let's say if I don't make them, let's say that this variable so int salary, I don't make it private. Okay, so when I go here and then I do employee dot, you see I can access this variable from this class just using object name dot, and then I can access the methods and then the variable int salary. But we don't want that. I want to hide this variable. I don't want someone to access this variable from the outside of employee class. So in order to do that, I need to make it, so I go here and I need to make it private. So now, so I made it private. Now if I go here and I do the same thing, so employee, so the object dot, you see I don't have the variable int salary anymore. It disappeared. We can say that it disappeared, but actually I just wanted to hide the variable. That's why I just made it private, and then from here, so when we do this dot, we cannot access the variables. We cannot see them anymore. So, but there is one way to access those variables is to use getters and setters method. So we just need to do this So after making the variables private, we just need to go to where is it, source, and then generate getters and setters. You just click on this, and then I already have them, but actually you just click on that, and then it's gonna generate the getters and setters methods for you. And then you go here, you create an object for employee class, and then you call the method. So you just need to do employee dot set. So the first method, which is set name, and you just give a value to a name to the variable, and then you call the get name method in order to get the name, and then you just print it out to the console using system out print line, and then let's run it. It's gonna print the name. The same thing for the second one. So employee dot set ID. So you set the ID first, and then you call the method get ID, and then you just print it out to the console, and it's gonna print the ID, which is 123. And it's the same thing for the others. Okay. So is it clear, Ahmed, or you want me to explain it again? Okay, got it. It's totally different from. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think it was easier for me to understand it this way. But I think it's the same logic with basically, it's the same logic with Mr. Maffei. The difference is that Mr. Maffei printed out the result on the same line. So I'm printing the results on different lines, but Mr. Maffei was printing the results on the same line. Actually, he was just using he was just making it this way. He was just calling the set methods for uh, for the set methods for all the variables, and then in the system out, he just did this. He did, let's see, sys out, and then in the sys out, I think that he put all the get methods together. I think that he did this. Let me just try it. Control V, and then okay, so I'm just gonna try it. I don't know if it's gonna work. And then get department, and then get salary, I don't know. Why is it showing an error? I think that I need to do that. Let me do something. Control C. Okay. 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 So let's try to print it. Okay, so this is how Mr. Maffei did it. So he just called all the set methods, and then he set all the information that he needed, and then he just printed out to the console, all the get methods in one line. I think this is what he did. And then just be sure to click on end training, and then you convert the session window will pop up. Okay, thank you, Fahim. I hope I'm gonna be able to do that, to convert the video. I'm gonna try to do my best. Actually, thank you, Fahim. Thank you very much. Okay, so this was for, so who was asking the question about encapsulation? Okay, Ahmed, I think it's clear now for you. Okay, great. I think there was another question. Please, okay, so Aisha, please go to the abstract class. Which abstract class are you talking about, Aisha? Or were you talking to Hossain? Okay. So which one? Oh, in abstract you need, okay. So in abstract you need main, method, concrete, class, and one else. Okay, so in abstraction we need concrete class, abstract class, and then interfaces. So one interface or more. It can be two or three, many interfaces. So this is what we need in abstraction. So we need concrete class, which contains only implemented methods, and we need abstract class, which can contain abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Can you write it? Okay. I think that we have all of these in Fahim's notes, but actually we can do it. Okay, so I wrote it here. Abstraction, it's implementation hiding. So in abstraction, we need concrete class, we need abstract interface, and we need, abstract class, and we need one interface or many interfaces. So the concrete class can contain only non-abstract methods. It means implemented methods, non-abstract, or what we call implemented methods. The abstract class can contain, actually, if you make an abstract class, if you create an abstract class, you need to have at least one abstract method in it. So if you make an abstract class and you don't create an abstract method in it, so what's the point? It has no sense. So if you make an abstract class, you need to have at least one abstract method in it. So abstract class can contain abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Okay. And then interface. So the interface can contain only abstract methods. So in the interface, we cannot find non-abstract methods or implemented methods. So in interface, we can have only abstract methods. Okay, so for the abstract class, we need to use the keyword abstract in order to create abstract methods. But in the interface, so since the interface is implicitly abstract, we don't need to use the abstract keyword to create interface or to create the abstract methods within the interface. What does it mean, concrete class, abstract class, and interface meaning? Okay, so actually this is the meaning of that. So when you define what you can have in each one, so this is the definition and the meaning of each class. A concrete class is just, let's say, regular class. So the class, that we use, just a regular class, which can have implemented methods, constructor, variables, etc. And then abstract class, it's declared using the abstract keyword, and then it can contain just regular methods, but it can also contain abstract methods. It means that they are methods which are not implemented. They are methods only declared. So you just declare the method, you don't implement the method. And then in the interface, we can find only abstract methods. So the only thing that we can do in the interface is to declare the method. We cannot implement the method. Okay. I hope it's clear. Let's see if there is another question. Okay, is there any other question or comment that you want to do? So if not, I think that I'm gonna. Okay, so do you want me to go over something else? Okay. If not, I think that I'm just gonna end the session now. Is it okay for you guys? Okay, so I think that this is gonna be all for today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys. I think that I'm just gonna end the session. So how can I do that? Okay, so how can I end the session? Let's see. I think it's gonna be exit training.